So Operation 27 came from the idea of the class wanting to know more about a different country. They wanted to know about our country. They wanted to know about how they could help children from overseas. So they wanted to know what a refugee was. They wanted to just be able to impact others in such a way that will be fun for them. So we came up with the idea of Operation 27 because we were in class 27 and we had 27 people in our classroom. So that was kind of really cool. And we called it that because we didn't want to call it board games or anything like that. It was kind of a generic name.
Operation 27, what is that about? Tell me about it.
Well, it's where we were making board games for the refugee centre.
Operation 27, what is that about? Tell me about it.
About New Zealand and stuff like that.
Was it cool having a special name like Operation 27?
Yep.
Why?
It makes us feel special.
Makes you feel special? A special name like Operation. Tessa, you talked about wanting to make a difference in other people's lives. Do you feel like you were able to do this during this inquiry learning?
Yes, definitely, because well, it made me especially, but also everyone else, feel really special because it made us feel really happy because we were able to help other people and make a difference in their lives and help them learn about this country. Make them fit in.
Okay. Do you think it would have had the same impact for you if you were just making a board game for you guys to play?
Definitely not.
Okay, why?
Because since it's really simple and stuff, it'd be pretty boring and stuff for us. And, we know all this about New Zealand and stuff too, and we're not really helping anyone else by making it for ourselves.
Okay, so you kind of felt like it had a bigger purpose.
Yeah.
Okay, so your learning sounded like it was pretty purposeful. Would I be right there?
Yes. Yeah.
So to start with, we looked at different board games. We had different stations around the class. So we played board games. We did a quiz and things like that on the computer, learning about different parts of New Zealand. We did some mapping. We also, what else did we do? There was about 5 different stations. Yep. And then for maths, we also looked at nets, and because obviously we decided we would make board games for the refugee centre, so that then covered maths as well. So we had to get measurements. We looked at measurement and enlargement and reducing. And so from this, we decided that our outcome would be board games for the refugee centre in Mangere, Auckland, for children who had never been to our country before, and that all the board games would be about New Zealand and what things that they would need to know before going out into our big wide world, basically. So some of them came up with the ideas of doing Sun Smart. Some were all about if they travelled around Auckland City itself. Some was just basic, what is famous in New Zealand. Other things were different foods, different sports in our country, just little things that they would be able to understand. We also had to do what is an instruction, because we had to write instructions, and from getting in experts, we had our ESOL teacher come in and she talked to us about how hard it is for to come into a country, and the best thing that a child needs for when they don't understand English. So we had to make sure that we had pictures for every single process of our game. So we started with how would we brush our teeth, and made sure that we knew exactly how we would do the process. So all our board games came with instructions that were pictorial. We then got our buddy class, which was a year 2 class, to try out our prototypes and see from there what actually went wrong, what didn't go wrong, so how we could improve it. And we followed the Think It Great process as well as the Tech Think process to do the whole thing.
We've got some books that you tracked your learning in. They've got organisers in, they've got your thinking. I've had a look in there, I see these wonderings and discoveries, these questions to an expert. There's obviously when you played your board games, did you have to like PMI or look at the strengths and the weaknesses of the board games?
Yeah, we had
So do you just want to talk me through the kind of the journey, because you guys know what happened but we don't. Okay. Do you want to fill us in a little bit about the process you went through to make these two games? Because obviously you didn't just sit down and start making ball games.
Miss Pride told
Well,
us
we had to start with the book, and we had to learn about New Zealand and New Zealand videos, and write about what board games looks like.
what we did was we got lots of games. We got Cluedo, The Game of Life, Monopoly, Bajenga, Harry Smart. Do you feel like you start the game? And we had to play a little bit of them, and we made an IT chart of what the so is the game fun, and lots of questions about it, and we had to tick. So we had to see which one's got all ticks and which one's got all X's. If they got all ticks, that means
Fill us in a little bit about the
they were
process
really
you went through.
that they were basically
Because
perfect.
obviously you didn't just sit down and start making ball games. So you were kind of immersed in
Well,
ball
we had to
games.
start
You got to know what made a great ball
And
game.
you had to
Okay. When did you do that?
Well, we played games, and then we did discovery, strengths, weaknesses, and so what's, and then we did it on different things. Like we did it on the materials of the game, the shape and size of the game, the pieces of it, and the visual side of it.
Okay. And from there,
And we also had to learn about New Zealand, like watch movies of volcanoes and all about Kiwiana.
so that your ball games could be Kiwiana based.
Yeah.
With the sheets here, when we did this weaknesses and stuff, it helped us figure out what stuff wasn't interesting in the games, and we didn't need it.
Okay.
We didn't have to need it in the strengths, so we can use it help with it in our games.
And then you got to put your own ideas into it.
Yeah. We also, because we didn't really understand the feelings, and we hadn't really been among with many refugees, we basically interviewed Mrs. Goodall, and we did questions for her, and we got answers. Well, when I heard about making board games about Kiwiana and New Zealand, I asked my dad if I could bring in a board game called The Amazing Law Hunt, and it had stuff about native birds and weird places around New Zealand. And we had to find it, and we also got some other New Zealand games like Hero Theory and also the Building London, and and that's how some people got their title. So you can see here, The Amazing Kiwiana. I had to do basically a draft of what we were going to do, and since as Mackenzie and mine is about kiwi, so we did a kiwi-shaped board, and this is just a really quick draft. Those are the mini character things, and this is the track, and we had to do brainstorm and do some ideas of what to do. So to be older than 3 years old, and we had to have what we would actually want to put into it.
Erin, you talked about this being a really cool kind of learning journey for you because it was kind of hands-on, you got to make things. Do you want to tell me about why you enjoyed this learning so much?
Well, it got our hands going, and we got to practice on making all our things like spinners, dices, boxes, and characters.
When you say you got to practice making them, did you kind of have like a template and made it for a prototype or something like
Yeah,
that?
we had prototypes, and we did for the maths and stuff. We had to do this, like teacher, like I remember once the teacher made us bring in like a cereal box and something, and we had to take it apart and see the neck, and then we had to try and figure out how it would fit together.
Our whole day was like mostly doing this with maths and writing and everything.
So all your learning was to do with your game?
Yeah.
Okay, so give me some examples. So for maths you obviously had to learn how to make a net.
Yeah.
And then writing was
Writing instructions.
Okay, so you had to learn what instructions were.
Yeah.
So did you do like kind of like a little mini inquiry into what makes great instructions. Did you
Yeah.
use some organisers and those sorts of things to find out the criteria or characteristics of instruction writing?
Well,
Something really important that you talked about
I kind of felt really passionate about it today. He was very good at some stuff.
I had a big line, they kept writing that where I said
really
you could see.
happy and frustrated because like we kept on doing stuff and like some of the stuff we did like failed, so we had to redo it. Like the box, pretty sure we made a mistake in it, we had to redo it.
Well, we had to check and recheck if everything was okay, and we had all the parts when we were ready to give out the refugees. Sometimes when we checked one part we were missing, and we had to print it off, laminate it, and then put it back in, so we all had to always fill in the parts that we lost. And also, when I finished all the boxes with my favourite and my partner, it was very good that. And I also started getting the fund for paper crafts, so I do paper crafts now.
Oh, do you? So that's what started it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.